I strongly believe that no one deserves to spend their whole entire life being unhappy with their own physical appearance, because that's something that you can actually change. You know what I'm saying? So into this video, I'm going to be talking about how to maximize your physical appearance from a science-based, literal research, facts-based perspective, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I've been studying biochemistry for the past 5 years of my life. I read multiple books about this shit, y'all. I literally live the lifestyle of, practicing what I preach when it comes down to optimizing your lifestyle. So with that being said, let's get it. Now, of course, genetics play a crucial role when it comes down to how you look, but everyone has the potential to maximize their genetics. So with that being said, when you look deeper into what actually influences your physical appearance, it all comes down to one thing. Not one thing particularly, but one thing that's very, very important, which is going to be your hormonal optimization. A lot of people overlook this because they don't understand the science behind it, but it's important to understand what your hormones are. Your hormones are your body's chemical messengers, which means that they help to regulate your energy, your body composition, your physical, like just your overall physique, yo, whether it's like muscle mass, fat regulation, your facial symmetry, your sex drive, your ambition, your drive in life. Your hormones literally regulate all this because they actually influence your cells. They literally message, like I said, it's your body's chemical messengers. They influence and direct your body to actually regulate like how it does. Like I said, when it comes down to your fat regulation, your just overall physical appearance, yo, even just the way you feel, all these things of that nature, y'all, your hormones are your body's chemical messengers. A good way to look at it is to look at it like its attributes, you know what I'm saying? So think about it like this. Think about your attributes as in your physical appearance, as in your jawline, you know what I'm saying? As in your facial symmetry, as in your eyebrow regulation, as in your muscle mass, as in your body composition, all that shit, right? Look at your hormones like your attributes, and then you want to maximize these attributes as in optimizing your hormones. Now that you understand that, I'm going to be talking about which hormones are responsible for particularly your physical appearance. The first one is going to be your testosterone. There's 7 important ones, y'all. The first one is going to be your testosterone. Your testosterone, as we all know, regulates your muscle mass, your fat distribution, your sex drive, your ambition in life. So overall, just feeling like primal as a man, you know what I'm saying? Your testosterone is important for that. Overall, your facial symmetry, the way that you're like, everything's lined up, yo. Y'all see how like my face is like, you know what I'm saying? Like it has that like, you know what I'm saying? That's testosterone. That's what testosterone does. Even the jawline. You know what I'm saying? That's testosterone. You know what I'm saying? Testosterone is going to be important for all these aspects. Had to fix the hair real quick, but yeah, so that's going to be your testosterone, right? Then next up we got DHT hormone, which supports overall just masculinity traits. So again, if you want that sharp primal look to you, this is going to be a crucial hormone for that as well. Overall, this hormone also helps with hair growth, you know what I'm saying, hair regulation, facial hair. As you can see, I have a mustache and a beard. I be trimming my shit and cutting it, trimming it up, shit like that, but I can't grow a fro, growing on a beard, a whole like goatee, everything like that, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, your DHT is going to be important for primal masculinity traits and just features, you know what I'm saying? And then we got your IGF-1, which just means your insulin growth factor 1, which stimulates bone growth, muscle growth, and overall just supports your like physical structure, as in like the way you look. So if you look malnourished, if you look kind of like just like, let's say, not as masculine or whatever it could be, this hormone is very crucial for this type of, topic, you know what I'm saying? Overall, this just supports muscle growth, y'all, and your bone health, you know what I'm saying? So that's that. And then you have estrogen, which is needed in small amounts as a man because too much of this can cause man boobs, or what you would call gynecomastia, or overall just like a feminine body for a man, which a man does not need. Overall, it will cause like a softer face, you know what I'm saying? Just a more feminine look, bro. You do not want to be having high levels of estrogen, which can be caused from a lot of shit I'm going to be talking about, next up, but yeah, that's that. And then for the last two is going to be your cortisol and your insulin. Now, your cortisol is your stress hormone. This helps to regulate your stress, and this is what happens when you get stressed out. Your cortisol goes up, you know what I'm saying? So when you have high levels of cortisol, this can cause muscle loss, just overall low testosterone, and overall just like a weakened version of you know what I'm saying? So it's very important to have, regulated regulated cortisol levels. Now for insulin is your hormone that's like your eating hormone in a sense, right? So this is what supports nutrient transportation within your body. So when you're eating certain foods and shit like that, it's important to have optimized insulin levels because this is what's going to actually help you absorb the nutrients to your best ability. Now with all that out the way, you may be asking like, okay bro, I get it, but how do I actually optimize my hormones? And it's very, very simple to do that. It all starts off with your daily habits, what you eat, and how you carry yourself. But let's first start off with the most important thing, which is going to be your diet. A lot of people eat like trash and wonder why they look how they look and how they feel, and wonder why they feel like how they feel. But it's very important to understand that, bro, when you're eating processed foods, chemical foods, all these lab-made, man-made foods that contain 1,000 of ingredients inside them, foods that you don't even know what is even inside the food. It's crazy to me how people eat like McDonald's and shit like that, but they don't even know what's even inside the McDonald's bun itself. So many ingredients just in the bun alone, right? People eat that shit daily and then wonder why they might not look as, physically appealing. To simplify, your body cannot take these low nutrient deficient foods and use it to optimize your hormones, which is going to reflect on your physical appearance. So again, if you're eating these lack of nutrient foods like McDonald's, processed foods, candy at the store, processed drinks, Red 40, all that shit, man, these foods do not provide no nutrients to the body. They actually strip the nutrients from the body because they literally work against the body, yo. These foods are literal poison, you know what I'm saying? Like, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? So how would you expect that to actually support your hormonal health, you know what I'm saying? Because look, yo, your body is like a high-end machine, you know what I'm saying? Your body's like a expensive V8 engine or like a V12 engine, right? Or like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, you know what I'm saying? Would you put dirty gas in those cars though? No. So same thing applies to the food in your body. You have to give it efficient fuel to actually optimize like how you would want. But if you're giving yourself low nutrient deficient foods, how do you expect that to actually play on the physical level? So with that being said, it's very, very important to be mindful of what you're eating. Because like I said, yo, if you're giving your body foods that work against your body, it's not gonna do you justice, bro. You know what I'm saying? So simply eat nutrient-rich foods. Be intentional with your eating. Like I said, I've been studying food biochemistry for the past 5 years. So when I eat food, I know exactly what nutrients it provides for my body, what part of my body it actually supports, and so on and so on, you know what I'm saying? As in just providing the right nutrients for my brain health, you know what I'm saying? For my muscle growth, as in amino acid profiles, you know what I'm saying? All these things, yo, you know what I'm saying? I know exactly what food does what for my body, literally. So with me saying that, I'm saying to understand how to actually learn about what foods support you and what foods don't support you, you know what I'm saying? Now with me saying that, here's the foods that I eat to actually support my hormonal health. And these are foods that are scientifically proven, y'all, to support you in these aspects of life. Now, I personally eat on a whole food plant-based diet, which consists of tree nuts, Brazil nuts, like, you know, foods like Brazil nuts, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, pumpkin seeds contains all the essential trace minerals that the body needs, yo. I consume sea moss, which contains 92 out of 102 minerals that the body needs, you know what I'm saying? Which is very, very essential for your hormonal regulation. On top of that, I eat hella leafy greens, hella just vegetables, whole food vegetables, fruits, just hella foods, yo. Hella plant-based proteins, as in quinoa, chickpeas, you name it, you know what I'm saying? Just holistically based, unprocessed whole foods that contains the proper nutrients for my body, which is very important for hormonal regulation. For example, a food like pumpkin seeds. When I say all, I mean literally all, yo. Pumpkin seeds contains all essential trace minerals that the body needs to thrive, like zinc, magnesium, etc. On top of that, it's a rich source of plant-based protein, which has a high amino acid profile. Now compare that to eating McDonald's. Eating foods like that is what's going to make the difference when it comes down to your health, you know what I'm saying, your physical appearance. Now I can sit here and name off every single food that actually does well for the body, but to keep it simple, I got a free nutrition guide and a free workout program in my description on what foods I eat, what foods I avoid, and things like that. Now look, the first action step, y'all, that you should do when it comes down to just, you know, supporting this process is to stop with the processed and chemical foods. That's the first step, you know what I'm saying? You cannot be eating no McDonald's, bro. No mini donuts, no none of that shit, man. No processed foods, no cereal boxes, bro. None of that shit. If you're gonna eat processed foods, it has to be holistically based, processed, as in like whole food ingredients, and it can't have like a list of ingredients, you know what I'm saying? No soy products, no seed oils, cut all that shit out. And then when you do that, you wanna replace those foods with the nutrition-packed foods because again, y'all, those foods do not provide no nutrients to the body. So your body cannot optimize with that. So replace those foods with the right foods, y'all, and then you're gonna see a difference. Now to step it up a notch, what you want to do is to detoxify the old foods out your body because at the end of the day, you still ate them, you know what I'm saying? So you got to get it out. Now to do that, you want to simply just fast, y'all. When it comes down to the fasting, you can do intermediate fasting or a 7-day fruit fast or a 21-day fruit fast. When you're eating the right foods and you're fasting, you're giving your body time to actually remove the toxic shit out your body. Simple as that. You can also take many natural herbs to support detoxification. Now, if you don't know what herbs are natural plants, y'all, from the earth that are literally plants, y'all, that contain natural occurring compounds to support you with whatever that you need depending on what herb that you take. Herbs are used in every single pharmaceutical pill, y'all. The only difference is that pharmaceuticals change up the chemical compound of it to make it act differently, and then they patient it and they add other shit to it, you know what I'm saying? But herbs are literally natural medicine from the earth. I don't like to say medicine because I feel like, you know, you can take herbs every day, y'all, literally to build muscle, to do whatever, you know what I'm saying? You can take herbs for every single aspect of life. So I don't like to say medicine, but that's just a good way to put it, you know what I'm saying? So look, the herbs that you want to be taking for detoxification will be sea moss, burdock root, bladderwrack, milk thistle, dandelion root, slippery elm, black walnut. You got multiple herbs, haritaki, dog flower, which is a whole different beast, but long story short, these natural herbs are going to help you detoxify your body to remove the heavy metals, the mucus, the parasites, the toxins, the inflammation, the acidity in the body. Due from the, you know, poor nutrition diet, you know what I'm saying? These herbs are going to help you pull these things out your body, yo, because they contain natural occurring compounds to do that. My camera keeps down, y'all. I gotta get a new battery. My voice is almost gone because I've been talking all day, like literally, but long story short, y'all, With the herbs, you want to be taking herbs to naturally detox. Now, I do own a supplement company, and I'm not just trying to pitch y'all. I'm genuinely trying to help, bro. Like, this is what works, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you want to be taking herbs like the sea moss blend on my website and the Total Body Detox. Now, if you want to support your hormonal health, you want to take the Maku blend and the Milk Touch the Flow. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I'm out. Let's get it.